Hi, I'm Angela Doggett Brown, and I'm with In One Piece. Many of you follow me, some of you know my story, some of you think you know my story, and some of you don't even know who I am. So I decided this week, I turned 50 on Thursday, which is a huge milestone for anyone. It's the second half of your life, and different people go through different things and different phases. Some retire, some are starting their lives, and some are just still trying to find themselves. And some have just kind of given up on life. And I thought, you know, part of my process that I've been through over the past 13 years has been discovering and finding my purpose and pursuing my passion. You see, I didn't discover what I was truly passionate about until later in life. And I know many of you can identify with that. So I'm beginning this series. It's called My Story. And this is going to be one video, and as I feel inspired to share different parts of my life, I will do so, because I am a health coach now, and I'm certified. I'm a motivational speaker, and I sing inspirational songs too. I've been an inspirational singer in the past, and I still do it from time to time. But my passion in moving forward in this second half of my life is to help people to discover their best selves and to find their purpose and pursue their passions and live out the rest of their lives doing what they love to do. And because that's what I'm doing. So my story may not fit you, it may not be for everyone, and that's okay. I want those that are passionate and feel connected to my story to hopefully find something, some type of inspiration that can get you through the difficult times and seasons. So I'm going to be very transparent. I always have been, but I think even more so, it's important today to be transparent so that you know, wait a minute, if she can get through what she went through and put a smile on her face and go about her day, then I can too. Because I'm not just sitting here with makeup on and a smile on my face and pretending like everything's hunky-dory in my life. I'm still in some of life's struggles. Les Brown says something that I love. He said, you can go on about your life, but sometimes you get hit on the blind side. Well, I'm in a blind side moment of my life, but even being hit on the blind side, I'm telling you, today I feel so strong and I feel so healthy and I feel so balanced in my life that it's okay that I got hit on the blind side, because I've got the tools that I know have helped me in the past to survive as I'm moving forward into my future. So today I want to share a little bit about my story with you, and I would love to hear back from you on Facebook or any of social media. I'm on all of social media, so look me up, Angela Doggett Brown. I am in the process of changing my last name. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear your story. I want to know if anything that I say resonates with you and impacts you in any kind of way. Today I want to share with you a little story about how the last 13 years began, the transformation in my life. I was married for 19 years, and in February of 2003, I was living in a multi-million-dollar home in a very influential neighborhood, gated community in outskirts of Orlando, Florida. And my husband at the time was sitting in his rocking chair in the family room. I had walked to my daughter's room to do something in her closet, and he walked to the door and he said, "I'm leaving, I'll see you later." I said, "Okay." And as I heard the door shut in the kitchen, something in my stomach just started not feeling right. So as I walked out of her room, I walked through the family room in the kitchen, I walked through the formal living room, and I walked right into the master bedroom, where I saw on my pillow a manila envelope. And I thought, this doesn't feel good at all. So I opened that envelope, and in a typed letter, it was laid out that my husband at the time was no longer happy, and he didn't love me anymore, and he was leaving. And that's about all I can remember from that letter, because I just literally fell apart in that moment. I picked up the phone to call, there was no answer. I picked up the phone to call at the time I thought were friends, and found out later, which will be another part of my story, that they weren't, for support. And they ran to my side, but it was to get information. And then I called family members to tell them, I don't know what to do, I don't know what's going on, I can't get a responsive call back. There was just so many mixed emotions going over in me. I I didn't know how to process them. I had literally, I think, stepped out of my body at the time and was standing on the outskirts of who I've known myself to be all this time. I was 35, I believe, at the time, 36, or almost 36, and it just seemed like, what just happened? I was in shock, total and complete shock. I picked up the phone to call my pastor at the time, our pastor at the time, and he would not even take my call. He wouldn't even pray with me. He wouldn't take my call. So my pastor didn't show up for me. And then I picked up the phone to call the attorney that had worked for us and had just completed our will for our future, laying out what we wanted to do for our future and our kids, and 2 weeks prior to that. And she proceeded to tell me immediately, she said, "I don't work for you." And she hung up on me. So in that moment, I don't know if you can feel what I may have been feeling at that time, but my whole world was shattered at that time. But, and I'm going to leave you on this note, and I'll come back and I'll pick up and I'll share a little bit more of my story in another video, because I don't want to tell it, it's so much, I don't want to tell it all in one video. But I want to leave you with that to think about. At that moment, I literally felt like God walked out on me, just like my friends had, just like my attorney had, just like my pastor had, and just like my husband had. My whole life, I felt in that moment, I have given my life to God, in service to God, and to this. I hadn't been perfect. I'd made some mistakes. I'd done some things, which is also another part of the story, that I realized in that moment, everything that I knew to be true for myself did not exist. And I shut down. I'm sick, doubled over in pain, completely sick. But I want you to listen, watch for the next video of the second part of my story, or part 2. I don't know how many videos there'll be, because there's a lot of dimensions and a lot of layers to my story. But I want you to hold out the faith, because if I can leave you with anything in this note, even in that moment, even when I felt like everything I had lost, everyone had turned their back on me, in that moment, even though I felt that way, that God even turned his back on me, it was at that moment he began the transformation process on me, in my life, to get me to where I am in 2016. So I want you to stay tuned for another part of my story, because I'm here to help empower you and to show you that you can make it. There is a purpose that you were born with and you're born to fulfill. So don't give up the faith, and definitely don't lose hope. Hold on. Your time is coming. I hope you have a wonderful day.